Kigezi TV, Neshemeza.
Yeah, as usual, Arineitwe is my name, the Division Chairman, Central Division Kabale, and I want to clarify on a number of things, and one of them is the issue of the meeting that happened and some of the responses or maybe some of the comments that were made by the mayor in line saying that him as a member of the security committee, he did not approve my meeting. Number one, yes, it's true he's a member, but he should also be reminded that I'm the chairman of security in Central Division. And as someone who took oath of office, and I swore to protect the laws of Uganda, and also my oath of office, I swore to promote the welfare of my people, the people in this division, and which the traders who work in Central Division. So I have a mandate to ensure that they get justice. Whereas he talks about guidelines, yeah, it's true the guidelines are there. There are those committees that talked about that people should take their complaints, but it is also a contradiction when you refer people to guidelines and when you're a number one violator of the guidelines. Because him, as a political head of Kabale municipality, he was not supposed to participate in the whole process. He was not supposed in any way to be even at the scene. He should have left the team from the ministry, the team nominated by the town clerk from Kabale Municipal Council, and the vendor, the sector heads of the vendors to take part, so that at least if complaints rise, then we would even help these people to go to mayor, or because people believe in politicians than the technical people, and that's why they run to us, and also we look into how to help. So when you're talking about people violating guidelines or are not following the guidelines, then you should also be reminded or look into yourself and say, did I myself follow the guidelines? Because he did not. To declare my meeting null and void, I think I achieved my objective, and one of the objectives was, because he will know that there are many people who will not know about these guidelines. Not every person in the market, all these aggrieved people, know about the guidelines. Some, and I don't think, if at all, they conducted meetings with the vendors. Many meetings were conducted with the leaders, but not the aggrieved vendors. And in a situation whereby you find that some of these vendors, some of them may not even know where to go, because a lot of registrations have been made, a lot of complaints have been registered. And when you look at the percentage of what has been done, especially the pitches, because the pitches, I do believe that when you look at the error percentage, might be around 8% or 9%. So it means that that one is it is something that you will not subject a process to have failed. But you also don't use that to suffocate those who fall in the 9%. So, and then of the issue of the lockups, we are yet to know. And something I would also like to tell our people is that I'm a division chairman. If I recall very well, I was only invited in one meeting where the ministry team had come to meet the sector heads, and in any case they had even mobilized people who were not supposed to be. They instead mobilized the people who were part and parcel of the construction committee, the leaders who were the committee that was constituted prior to the construction committee, and the meeting did not yield a lot of results. That's the only meeting that I was invited officially. All other meetings prior to relocating the vendors have not been informed. They've been doing it without me knowing. And if you ask me now, I will not even tell you that we have reached this percentage of taking back the vendors. And if I will be briefed, then there are some things that we may not go into. But to give this light is that as a leader, as I had said the other time, I said that you will not tell people that when all this mess was being done, you kept quiet. And my action was to bring out people who fear, even there are many people who fear offices. Their rights they are put in a situation where they cannot get the rock or the pitches, and they keep quiet and they don't know where to go. Some claim that they even go to the town clerk's office to tender in their complaints, and that the town clerk tells them that let them first, she's waiting for a report, so that's when she will start taking in. So there is a lot of, you can't know whether they are lying or they are doing. But my essence of the meeting was to invite them and guide them on what to do. And I wish they had waited and I finished the meeting and they see my next course of action. I was not going to report them as they thought. But of course, when they use a lot of force on you, you also use the network and the other relevant offices that you know. And on another hand is that they talked about the politics. The politics that are politicizing this issue. I think you cannot separate a politician from politics. Or you cannot separate a church leader, a priest, from talking the word of God. But before we look at the politics, before we talk about unless maybe if these people live in a different planet, if they are staying in a different country that is not covered here in Uganda, maybe they may not know what is happening. But before I continue with the political issue, I believe they panicked. When I called this meeting, they panicked. And I know what made them panic. It's because they knew that people, because they know when a politician goes to the meeting, there is media. So they knew that people are going to bring their grievances on camera. And that is evidence that they did want to go out to the public. But nevertheless, I think they came late because I had finished my meeting. I was almost giving closing remarks. So practically, I achieved what I wanted to achieve. And I do believe because of that meeting, our people are going to be listened to. And my intention was to tell people where to go, and I told them it's only the town clerk. And in a situation, unfortunately I would be communicating to him, but for him he looks at me at a political perspective. So that means whatever I say, he calls it political, cheap politics. But I would also want to advise him as a brother, as my senior, that if someone says something, you don't rubbish it. At least pick out the positives, because that's what leaders should be. Pick out the positives, and then from that, then you can see how to move. But when you talk about when each and every action that I make, if you look at it from a political angle, then you even lose my help or my advice that would even be helping us as an entity. For example, these people, because in this meeting that I called, I told those who are in court not to come, because their issues are still in court, and they went to court, and the Kabale Municipal Council asked time to engage them, so they will engage them. But my advice was that there is when I talk to these people, they are great people, because if we lose, if by God, if God forbid, if we lose the case, the entity will be in problems. We will find ourselves in a situation where we cannot operate. So these are the things that we need to understand. And I do believe that we should not look at Kabale alone. We should use all these challenges we consult. Because when like for example, there has been a contestation about the guidelines. The guidelines say you rent from government. The guidelines say the poor, the president called them Mufunampora. Mufunampora. And what I have learned also in this whole situation is that they have used the position of the president wrongly, and don't use the presidential guidelines wrongly. What's the presidential directive, rather the presidential directive wrongly? Because the president cannot make a mistake. The president thought it wise and reclaimed the markets within Kampala from Owino Market, Nakasero Market, and South Market, which were under Harbour Group of companies and the abattoir in Kampala. He was paid 142 billion. Colonel Jenny had, and the other team had Seka Market, which was where they were paid around between 24 and 26 billion, and government retained the market. So instead of negotiating with these people, you're using force on them. And at the end of the day, God forbid, if we lose this case, it will put us at a situation that this entity will operate in crisis. But I don't want to discuss those things because I know, and it's my prayer that they take the guidance of court and harmonize with these people so that this whole thing is solved. But for purposes of where we are, I want to tell everyone listening to me and watching me is that I'm not in the politics at this point in time. Those who are in politics, time will tell those who are politicking and those who are not politicking. And if at all I'm politicking, then I'm a politician, so I will not deny that. But at this point in time, we are saying, are there people who are not sorted? If they are relevant processes, are they aware of them? Or shall we all keep quiet, and once the 14 days are done, then they start telling them, you never came within the 14 days. So as a leader, we have a responsibility to help our people, and that's why what I did, I can accept that maybe it was the wrong timing, but for them to say that I should seek permission to operate in my office, then automatically that one is it is really wrong. And I think maybe they can search their heads and know that they were taking the wrong path. Because as far as I'm concerned, I am responsible for this office, and I'm charged in my office, as I had said, to promote the welfare of my people. And I cannot promote the welfare of my people by seeing people not having where to work from. And if I was part and parcel of this meeting, maybe I myself, I would tell them on what to do. But nevertheless, my intention, as I conclude, was to bring them on board, hear their views, register them, or refer them to where they're supposed to go. Than them staying behind there, not knowing where they're supposed to go. Because you see, our people don't understand on the same level. And if we say that we don't know what is happening, this is not a something, the chairman something, or a political thing. This is a situation that is down there, and our people know it, the public know about it, and it's my prayer that all the gaps are handled so that we, at the end of the day, we will say that we were successful. And lastly, I also heard him say that some of us, we never wanted to this market to be constructed. I think, and that's where politics come in. Because I do believe that he knows the engagements. I for one, I had with Jose Simon Mashenero. He almost gave me a slap. And those who had the interest and who wanted to sabotage the market are there. But if he can ably say that Sam is also among the people who sabotaged to make him a failure, at least prior to the elections, me and him were one team. So, and I think that this is not a central market. This is a government market. It is the government that will have achieved this project, and he will also be part of the achievers, but not him as an individual. That's why we want him to understand that he should get out of the political cover. You know, when you're politicking and you're assuming those who are silent are politicking, because from the time this exercise started, I have not talked to everyone, I have not faced the media, I have not said anything. I kept calm until I found people crying that they don't know, they don't have where to go, and some people were bombarding me on the road, and I said, no, I need to do something. Because someone challenged me and said, you go chairman, someone told me and asked me, you go chairman, and me, I thought the process was going on smoothly. And you see, the evidence will come. Those who are sneaking in the market, they will be handled at an opportune time, because there are measures that they will be handled. So I want to lastly to encourage our people to tell them to remain calm. Those who have complaints, to go to the town clerk's office, register in your complaint, so that at least by the time the 14 days is elapsed, you're not left out. And that was my intention, to advise these people. So let me take this opportunity again to kugambira abantu bitu abatakatiriye complaints zabo babase kuzitwara wata clerk ninga shadis era registering complaints babase kubakoraho kandi bagenere ibipapura ahakuba turamanya no bukuru witu Kabale municipality ahakuba kizire kugambira abantu uti ari emiringo eshatu iyo urabasa kumanyira abantu abahici uzamukatanya icyo kubanza bakasayininga memorandum bire na registration form kandi na waba hina batiyeme bicuko urabasha license ababire baragira ki barakorera mu yakatare barabazine kandi bacyari no business nangwa no babazi nanjire hantu ratwine kitaba kibashashurira ngebigira ki ibisho so ubujurizo bwiti bukatire ki tibukabo konka washanga uri kureta imbera yo kugira ngo imwe abantu ubwo mwamanya nabatari mu katari nabatakakaza kamubona bagire ngo uti turamanya ubwo rukeba. So someone can even mobilize a group of people yo kutera urwari kwikiriza bamwe no kwanga babo. So enkora nkejo then also na challenge ya referee nyunga ndatekateka ngo baraza kweta bona ba general merchandise mwemereraho murundo gum then bakwato mu papaya muri gara bakwato papurigana babute mu box buri yo majireki apicking. In a situation, this is something I will not shy away to say. Kabanye birire umuntu yapikinga makaruru bakamwaka ngo amushotera kana. And ndabura baragena musisi I want to go mbanze manye iyo bari gukora exercise kamera y'abaziri buzira message and of course but unfortunately na experts abo baratwara iyo nabo you know bara compromise and that's the challenge. Konka justice will always prevail. You know, the beauty is time answers all the questions. So titwine kutina kandi titwine goba itwabara teka ngo turakora ga politics nibo bari mu politics aha kubana oreta bwine nyine ubundi bakamanya samu nabandi abari mu politics neba konka tukayikira mu karuru obwire kuburihika ibintu byabishobotse ko gushima kubabiri kandi ngambira abantu kugira ngo ibya politics abo bonda babarambagira kandi wenda kukozesa ibintu nka politics reka tubanze tubona abashobozi biteye baragire ki ibarakore ibya politics buri kintu cyona kintu mugira ki ubunako bwacu webare
Kigezi TV Neshemeza.